Hello, it's Mike. Good to see you.
Good luck, buddy.
We might not be able to see his eyes, but we'll definitely be able to watch his hands as he works his way around the 2.5-mile super speedway. It's time for our Walmart recipe for success. What will go into that recipe? Well, let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, lots of ingredients, Rick, and I think when you throw in the Daytona International Speedway, that's the real spice that makes a great recipe for success. You think about this racetrack and getting the season started, it doesn't get any better. It's the biggest race of the year for everybody, and in this series we've had 27 last lap passes. Guess what? 3 of them have happened right here at Daytona, including a year ago. You never know who's going to win this race. Just because someone's leading at the white flag doesn't mean they'll be the first one to the checker. Hermie?
Well, Ray, all week long in Speed Weeks, we've heard the talk of teammates. That's right. How can you help your teammate or partner with your teammate to get to victory lane? Now, a strong group of trucks here tonight comes out of the stable of Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Ron Hornaday, Elliott Sadler, Nelson Piquet Jr., all fast trucks. They talked about working together. Well, all 3 of those trucks have moved to the back of the pack. They will start this race at the tail end of the field, bide their time, and with about 10 to go, they say, try to make their way to the front. Then, Krista, how do they decide who's going for the victory?
That is the question, but Ricky Carmichael has all of the answers. He has more Daytona wins here than anyone, but that's on 2 wheels. Now he's on 4, and he is starting 4th in the number 4, and right in front of him, that's his teammate, James Busher. They have a recipe for success, Rick.
Thank you, Krista. 36 trucks now all bunched up, getting ready for 100 laps of excitement from Daytona International Speedway. DW, I want to hand the mic to you.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, this is a great way to start the 2011 season up here doing the Nationwide Truck Series. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go truck racing, boys and girls! Camping world, by the way.
2 by 2 across the start-finish line, working their way into turn number 1, kicking off the 2011 season.
A lot of Chevrolets bunched up front, only 1 Toyota in the top 10.
How early will we see strategy play out in the Camping World Truck Series? Will we see guys drop to the back to try to stay out of the potential big one?
Well, let's see if we can get through this first lap here, because last year, as you know, we didn't quite make that first lap. And these things are a handful. Low air pressure, first couple of laps, they really move around, particularly on the straightaway.
Hey, look at that truck on the outside, the second row there, outside of Ricky Carmichael. That's our buddy Michael Waltrip, started in 11th, and look at him already battling for second.
Field making their way through the trial for the first time. The first lap at Daytona, led by James Busher in the 31. Ricky Carmichael right behind him in the 4. Austin Dillon in the 3. Tucked in on the low side of this pack. We're seeing 3 wide now as they work their way through 1 and 2.
Timothy Peters thought about going to the high side, making it 3 wide. Travis Quapple in the 5 truck, the yellow one, jumped inside of him, hung him out to dry.
See, there's such an urgency in this race. It's only 100 laps. You got to get it on. You got to get it done in a hurry.
How about Michael Waltrip in the 15? He had a push from the 32 of Brad Sweet. He's now battling side by side for second with the 4 of Ricky Carmichael.
You really have to be careful pushing on the back of these trucks. We saw it with Amarillo and those guys in practice. It doesn't work.
They continue 2 by 2 as they go through the tri-oval. Completing the second lap, but still James Busher hasn't been contested for the lead.
Well, Michael's trying. He's trying to side draft off those trucks on the inside line. He's got some great pushers behind him with Brad Sweet and the 23 of Jason White.
The truck races we've seen down here, they've been 2 by 2, but not side by side.
Nose to tail 2 by 2, just not door to door.
Now we're going to make it 3 wide here. Timothy Peters in the K&N truck pulls out to make it 3 wide.
So that outside line not able to catch up to the inside line. 3 wide. Look at that right in the middle. The 66 of Justin Marks. He had problems coming off of pit road to start this race, but he's got it going now.
We saw Timothy Peters make it 3 wide. He lost ground again. Twice he's tried it. It hasn't worked yet.
A little bit of spark you see every now and then. Some of these guys dip below that yellow line or get down on it. There's a transition there, and they're hitting their nose on that flat part of the apron.
Rules are you can't improve your position below the yellow line, but if you go down there, you're not going to get penalized if you don't pass someone.
Come to Daytona, you expect to see side-by-side racing? We've got it.
Right here in the Camping World Truck Series. Exactly exactly what we anticipated. Side-by-side racing.
How about this is the group in the back? You talk about different packs. These are the guys that are going to ride it out here for a little while. Wait till late in the race, like Matt Crafton did last year. He parlayed that into a top 5 finish. We've got several guys employing that same strategy.
Yeah, remember, back in 2005, Bobby Hamilton Jr. went all the way back. Or Bobby Hamilton Sr. went all the way to the back of the field, rode around there until the closing laps of this race, and was able to make a last lap pass on Jimmy Spencer to win the race.
There's Timothy Peters jumping in behind Justin Marks in that 66 truck.
Phil, Rick, the track everything handles good down here this time. One of the advantages that Bobby Sr. had back in the day was he could out-handle some of these guys through the corners. That's not a real big issue. It's all about speed this year.
Look at how tight these trucks are running around this racetrack, upwards of 195 miles an hour right now.
You know, in years past, you could make that outside groove work really easy because this racetrack was so rough and handling was such an issue. These guys would have to back off the throttle. Now, James Busher is holding that thing on the floor every single inch around here.
Phil, the best friend you got is that yellow line. Keep it on that yellow line and make them go around you on the outside, but it's just very hard to get enough steam up going around the outside to do it. We saw it in the Cup races, and we're seeing it here tonight.
Early on in this race, we're also seeing one team dominated. 1 and 2 right now is Turner Motorsports. Out in front, James Busher and Ricky Carmichael.
There's a good view from the Funai onboard of Michael Waltrip. There's Todd Bodine, 2-time winner here at Daytona in his Valvoline Toyota on the inside.
And he's the only one to win at this racetrack twice.
Parker Klickerman's going to jump to the outside here. Todd's going to go with him. They're going to jump up in front of Michael and see if we can make that outside groove work.
Again, the bumpers don't line up perfectly in the Camping World Truck Series, and so you won't see that stuck to the back bumper of a truck look like we've seen in other series. You might see them bumping, though, as they go around the track. Parker Kligerman holding his own out there on the racetrack, currently in the 7th spot, Ray.
Rick, he's telling us he's just a little bit tight coming off of the corner in that number 29. The big question I had coming into tonight was, will anybody go with him? He's driving a Dodge, the only Ram in the field here tonight, and in practice that truck was fairly slow. He said he felt it would be great in the draft, but not so good in qualifying. But he's the only Dodge in the field tonight here at Daytona.
On an island, but Dodge has had success at Daytona already this week.
As Kurt Busch.
How about James Busher out in front of this field? He has led every lap since the drop of the green flag on the 2011 season. Sunday, the Great American Race kicks off with the biggest pre-race show on television, NASCAR Race Day. Get the inside track from the drivers before the Daytona 500. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot from Daytona. Sunday, 9 Eastern live on Speed. Holding on to the top spot at still the 31 of James Busher, Ricky Carmichael, Austin Dillon, Brad Sweet, Jason White. Your top 5 all held by Chevrolet. They have never won at this racetrack.
We have a bit of a breakaway of 12 trucks right now. Craig Gose started way back, and he's moved up into the 12th spot in that lead draft, but it's just about 6 or 8 truck lengths back to that next pack, led by Brendan Gaughan.
We saw Norm Benning on the apron, slow on the apron, so he's not slowing down the progress on the track. Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. What an impressive run so far for Brad Sweet right now in the 4th position in his 32 Great Clip Chevrolet. Now, he has got Cole Kane, the cousin of Casey Kane, spotting for him tonight. But also Casey Kane is on the spotter stand giving some advice to Brad Sweet as he drives this truck tonight. So getting a lot of experience tonight is Brad Sweet, and he's getting a lot of good advice from a lot of people, including Casey Kane tonight. Krista?
Thanks, Hermie. Remember the last time we were at a plate track, a super speedway? It was Talladega, and Chris Fontaine nearly pulled off the unbelievable, almost winning that race. He had such a strong run there. He comes back here with tons of momentum and confidence. He started 16th. He's currently running in the top 10 and getting a whole lot of help from former Truck Series champion Travis Kvapil. Ray?
Elliott Sadler's back in 30th right now, Krista, but I can tell you he's learning a lot on the racetrack. Said his truck's a little bit tight right now, but he has been watching that high line. Brendan Gaughan just went to the high side and actually pulled off a pass. It looked like not many people were going to be able to do that. You see Brendan there with a 3-truck draft now trying the higher side of the racetrack. Elliott's got his eye on it.
And Elliott Sadler won his first Camping World Truck Series race a year ago at Pocono. A guy who has won numerous races in this series, Brendan Gaughan, currently running in the 13th spot. Behind him, though, people are wondering, where's Kyle Busch? A guy who won 24 truck races. Well, Kyle Busch is kind of laying low. He's back in 18th right now in that 18 truck.
And watch these things snake down that back straightaway. I know that doesn't look very, like, not much happening, but these things are tail happy. They get really light on the back end as they go down that long back straightaway, particularly when someone is tucked right up under the back of you.
Got a glimpse of that 18. We're riding along with Kyle Busch and what he sees on the racetrack in front of him. There's Max Pappas in the 9, that Geico Toyota Tundra.
Kyle jumped to the inside around the 77 truck of Justin Lofton.
Travis Kvapil leading this smaller pack in that number 5, driving for Randy Moss Motorsports.
As you can see, about a half a dozen truck lengths behind Chris Fontaine, the 84 truck, who's at the tail end of that lead draft. Chris is running right now in the 10th spot.
And we keep talking about how much grip the track has and how good the tires are, and it's even better in the evening like this. There's just absolutely no sunshine on the track, obviously just a little moonbeam coming down tonight. That makes the truck run fast. That makes it have a lot of grip. It's going to make for some exciting racing when these guys figure out somebody needs to pull out and go.
A lot of grip on the racetrack right now, and that could be one of the strategies when we do get time for a pit stop. Will they change 4 tires? Will they change 2 tires? Will they change no tires and go with just fuel? With such a smooth surface, that strategy is definitely going to come into play. Stay with us. Speed Inside Deals is your one-stop shop for exclusive ticket offers for speed viewers. Speed Inside Deals packages range from specially priced general admission and children tickets to pit passes, driver and speed talent meet and greets, food and drink hospitality, and more. Be sure to check out the Speed Trackside Tavern and House of Speed ticket packages. If you're joining us at the Speed Stage in Daytona this weekend, visit speed.com/deals today. Guy having his own deal right now is James Buescher out in front.
What a great source for tickets, really. Anywhere you want to come and watch a NASCAR race, just visit our website, speedtv.com.
You know, Phil, right now it's just obvious. Everybody's afraid. Nobody wants to pull out a line right now because I think they know that if they did, with this long a train of trucks here, they would go straight to the back. So everybody's really just kind of going to school right now. It's not like they're not going to make some moves later on. Right now, they're kind of going to school on everybody.
Right now, we have 24 trucks essentially in the lead draft, and then that second draft is about 2 seconds behind them.
By the way, Rick, did I leave anybody out on the start of the race?
You covered them all.
I got them all, didn't I? I wanted to be sure I did at the start of the 2011 season.
Ray Dunlap.
Hey, Rick, I love the look of that leader out there. How about that Exide sponsorship on James Buescher's truck? You know, when you make a list of drivers that you think are on the cusp of getting their first win in this series, I would put James Buescher very high on that list. Twice he's finished second and been in position to win a number of races. Tonight very well may be his night. But how about Turner Motorsports coming to the trucks with 3 full-time teams this year? And Buescher believes that they're going to be a potent combination. If you drop back just a couple positions behind him, there is Austin Dillon in that number 3 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. His temperature is up to about 230 degrees, so his crew chief has told him peek out a little bit every once in a while. Let's try to get some air to the front end of that truck. Hermie?
Well, Ray, people are already starting to talk about when we're going to pit and who we're going to pit with. Jason White running in the top 5 in the 23 truck. His crew chief has been talking to Mike Hillman Jr., the crew chief for Todd Bodine in the 30 truck, who is running in 7th. They are both planning to pit on or about lap 30. Now, Mike Hillman Jr. said right now his truck is good. Todd's not saying much about it. He does not plan to take tires unless they have to put a full load of fuel in. If they do, he says they'll probably take right sides only. Krista?
Hermie, Travis Kvapil in that 5 truck, you saw him a few laps ago sort of try out the middle line and then drift to the back. He got on the radio and told his crew chief and team, nothing there, but I had to try. And then a voice got on the radio and said, you should have listened to your spotter about 4 laps ago. Of course, that was his spotter saying that.
And of course, the spotters around here, very, very important on such a big racetrack when you've got to work with other drivers.
Well, when you're sitting there in that pack like that and you're running about 3/4 throttle, you think, man, I'm at this thing. I'm going to go around all these guys until you pull out and hit that wall of air, and then you start going backwards and you say, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
but we know